Hormones, those things that make teenagers moody and miserable and have great spurts and acne and really make your voice sound a bit like the low E string of a bass. The word hormones, when just casually thrown out there, is immediately related to the process of growing up, further known as puberty. Dun dun dun. But in reality, that's just your sex hormones at work. The fact is that there are over 50 different types of hormones coursing through you right now, and all multicellular organisms produce one kind or another. So basically, even cacti fangirl over Leo. You're not alone. Okay, that was weird. In animals, the network that makes and releases hormones, your endocrine system, is one of the two ways, along with your nervous system, that important information is communicated from one part of your body to another. Right now, your endocrine system is spraying hormones into your bloodstream that are doing all kinds of things all over your body, giving instructions to other glands, regulating salt, water, and sugar levels in your blood, controlling body temperature, telling your heart to beat faster. In general, the endocrine system works with your nervous system to interpret and respond to internal and external changes, stimuli, in order to maintain homeostasis, the tendency toward a relatively stable equilibrium between interdependent elements, especially as maintained by physiological processes. So that was a mouthful. Basically, the thing that keeps you not dead. And yes, it's probably partly responsible for that daydream you may or may not be having about Taylor Lautner. But keep your eyes on the prize here. We're doing science and pay attention. So it all really starts up in the hypothalamus, which is the portion of the brain that maintains homeostasis and serves as a link between the nervous and endocrine system. This gland controls secretion from the pituitary gland, and a major part of its function is to instruct other glands based on information from your senses and other nerve functions. Right under the hypothalamus is a pea-sized gland known as the pineal gland, which secretes melatonin, a serotonin-derived hormone, which is stimulated by light, that affects both seasonal and circadian rhythms, which are basically your sleeping patterns. This gland also controls aging, reproduction, body temperature regulation, alertness, and consciousness as well. Fun fact, people used to think that the pineal gland was the third eye. Connected to the hypothalamus is the pituitary gland, also known as the master gland. And the pituitary gland has two lobes that are basically two different glands fused together. You have the anterior and posterior pituitary. The pituitary gland secretes hormones that control the functions of other glands, as well as stimulating growth, body metabolism, sexual development, and reproduction. The thyroid controls your metabolism through the hormones T3 and T4 and uses calcitonin to lower blood calcium. It also regulates your appetite, muscle function, blood pressure, heart rate, and etc. Regulated by the pituitary gland, it uses TSH, thyroid stimulating hormone, and the thyroid and the pituitary create this thing called a negative feedback loop. So basically, if TSH will be released when the metabolism is low, which will alert the thyroid to release more of the thyroid hormone, and when this occurs, this will cause the metabolism to increase, eventually shutting off the release of the TSH from the pituitary. So it's a circle to create this eternal balance within the body. The parathyroid gland, and this really doesn't have anything to do with the thyroid, but this gland regulates calcium levels. There are 4 parathyroid glands, each located within the thyroid, and at about the size of a grain of rice. The thymus secretes thymosin, which stimulates the development of T cells. It helps the body protect itself from autoimmunity, which is when the immune system turns against itself. So basically, the thymus is the firefox of your body. It's what creates those knights in shining armor to save you from getting sick. Located on top of the kidneys, the adrenal gland is composed of 2 main parts. You have the adrenal cortex, which produces hormones that are vital to life, such as cortisol, which helps regulate metabolism, and aldosterone, which helps control blood pressure. The adrenal medulla produces non-essential, that is, you don't need them to live, hormones, such as adrenaline. The pituitary gland secretes adrenocorticotropic hormone, ACTH for those of us who don't have all freaking day, which stimulates the adrenal glands to release epinephrine, also known as adrenaline, to help respond to stress. Basically, it produces adrenaline, which enters the bloodstream, causing the heart to pump faster, supplying muscle cells with more oxygen and nutrient to perform cellular respiration with, therefore preparing your muscles for the fight-or-flight response to stimuli. The adrenal glands also help the kidneys regulate the amount of salt and water in your body. The pancreas maintains the body's glucose balance. It secretes insulin to increase glucose absorption and lower the amount of glucose in the bloodstream, and glucagon to stimulate the liver and muscles to start breaking down the glucose to release energy and increase the amount of glucose in the bloodstream. So basically, without the pancreas, if you ate a chocolate bar, you'd be very, very hyper, so your blood sugar levels would be skyrocketing, which could cause all sorts of health issues and cardiac problems as well. And now to the genitals and gonads, what the endocrine system is, I really don't understand why, but most famous for. So the ovaries, yay ovaries, maintain the health of the female reproductive system. The ovaries mainly secrete estrogen and progesterone, and they produce egg cells, which is a necessary part of reproduction. So the ovaries get their instructions from the pituitary as well to produce sex hormones. So as the ovaries are for females, for males you have the testes, which secrete testosterone, which is necessary for proper physical development in boys. So when boys spontaneously become men, testosterone maintains libido, muscle strength, bone density, and hair growth. And just like the ovaries, it also gets instructions from the pituitary gland to produce sex hormones. So some theories also show that testosterone is released to cause anger and aggressiveness, as well as extreme hair growth in certain regions. So in conclusion, if someone throws a rubber duck at you and you get mad, that's probably your testosterone at work, and maybe you need to see a therapist to get something done about your anger issues, but other than that, the workings of the human body, and by that I don't just mean the nervous and endocrine system, but every aching, waking, cake baking, part of your body, is still quite a mystery to us. And honestly, that's a good thing, because I really don't want to go there. It's far too complex for us to understand at this moment, as we learn something new every day, and this is all really new to the world. And although we've been exploring it for centuries, there's always something more beneath the surface. So, well, anyway, that's it for today and probably forever, so go knock yourself out and destroy your childhood in the 7th grade GTA's Disney Underworld Maze of Endocrinology. And yes, that is a word.
Other kitties just like me, they play outside, they run so free, regardless of the dangers in this scary, scary world. Carelessly they risk their lives, but I would rather stay inside. Anything could happen in this scary, scary world. I'm sure they're having fun out in the sun, but I don't care. It's a scary, scary world out there. 'Cause there's spider webs and spooky heads, and what's inside that creepy shed? Everything is deadly in this scary, scary world. Nasty flies on doggy poop, that rock looks weird, that tree just moved. Nothing ever looks right in this scary, scary world. And just the thought of grizzly bears, it kinda stiffens up my hair. Scary, scary world. There are plants and trees and wasps and bees, and what the hell just walked on me? I hide behind my window in this scary, scary world. I never leave my home because of kitty agoraphobia. The TV shows me everything that's in this scary world, like Todd McNabb and Iggy Pop, and I'm so scared of Carrot Top. Such a scary world out there. Scary, scary world. Out scary, scary world. It's a scary, scary world. Out scary, scary world. It's a scary, scary world. It's a scary, scary world. It's a scary, scary world. I know I might seem It's such a scary world out there. Such a scary, scary world out there.